Welcome to episode 12 of the Siobhan Speak Social Podcast. This episode's going to be dedicated to the freaking dumpster fire that happened on Threads that is still kind of a mystery to most people on TikTok. And I still have even my closest friends asking me, like, what's going on with Mercedes? What's going on with Can't Call Out? I follow her. Is she not good? And I'm like, well, she is he. And I'm so tired of telling this story. I'm just going to put it all out there here. Um, Before I begin, the only reason why I'm making this video is because today in our group, in our Discord chat, those of us that were in the Left Wing Project and were just kind of left out to dry after Mercedes decided he didn't want to deal with the infighting anymore. So he just, left the server and was going to try to pawn the account over to someone without telling them what he had done on Threads. Okay, today on that Discord chat, those of us left, they showed a screenshot where Mercedes had texted one of them and asked if I would remove my video about the pronouns, where I mentioned fuck him and his pronouns because I don't even fuck with him anymore, right? And I'm it made my head do this because I haven't received any sort of communication from Mercedes since this whole blow up. The only communication that I got from Mercedes was a text saying that if access to their left wing account isn't restored, that they're going to pursue lawsuits. And I was very confused because like I don't even have access to that Instagram. Like I send you guys collab invites and then send you the links to the video. Like what are you talking about? So I went to the beach that day. You can even look on my social media. I was like, well, I got law threats of, I don't even know what they're talking about, but I'm out to the beach, bitch, bye. Um, and it was funny because Mercedes also was like on some, well, I'm gonna go fishing that day, bye. Okay, let me catch you guys up. So Mercedes and I connected because, like many of you, I saw their content over and over and over, and it was catchy with the, "Hi, my name's Mercedes Chandler. Follow or you'll never see my face again. Bye." As a fellow content creator and someone who understands how you have to, sorry, I'm checking the time. I got a client in like 30 minutes. Know how you have to be strategic to grow. So I thought that that was dope that they had that thing, that little catch line. And so I listened to their videos and I listened to how they articulated their thoughts, and I was like, wait a minute. I commented. I called Camp Call Out. I was like, hey, you don't seem like you just learned this shit yesterday. Are you sure? Like, I didn't know what I was getting at because I didn't really know the term grifter at the time, but I was just like, you don't seem like you just learned this shit yesterday. And instead of deleting my comment, he saved it and lots of people liked it and they DM'd me and they sent me a voice memo and explained to me their situation, like, oh, I learned through education, this, and that. And I was like, okay, fine. And then one day, like a few weeks later, they were like, hey, do you want to join my left wing content project? I like your content, this, and that. And I have a strong message and a strong passion and vision and want to help build community and educate people. So I'm like, fuck yes. Like, I'm not getting a lot of views. This makes sense. And I see that we both also bond on coming from conservative backgrounds and both being queer. So I was like, you know what? Like, this, that we can help each other out. Joined. And so that's how we are connected. I went on Threads. It was like maybe a Wednesday or Thursday morning, and I saw that a black woman had made a post with the candle that the white guy, the gay candle guy company made. And she was saying she's basically saying like this is some fuck shit. Like this black man went out there and labored for 25 hours and the first thing y'all could do is come up with a way to make money off of it and it's cotton scented. So she's like, this isn't right. And for whatever reason, Mercedes felt like he had a dog in this fight and was like, I'm going to use my followers and my platform to support him. We shouldn't have infighting. Don't tear down another member of the marginalized community. And I saw this happening, and I was like, oh god, this is not great. This is not fucking great. Like, why? So I messaged Mercedes, and I was like, hey, girl, because this was before they started. This is before I knew anything about them wanting to transition. And I was like, hey, girl, I hope you're having a great morning. Saw your post. I don't know if that's gonna go the way that you think it's going to go. And I tried to be as patient and just like how I'm talking with you. My tone never really left this. And their response was like, well, I don't understand because you guys make shirts off of Kamala and Obama. And I'm like, oh, shit. Um, so much education had to go there. I had to respond to them and explain to them. I was like, that's us in the community. You know how someone could pick on your brother and it's not okay, but you can pick on your brother and it's okay? Same thing there. Like, don't compare those two. That's just one of the myriad ways that you could look at it. And I tried to present that. He wasn't having it. And I was like, all right, Well, how about the fact that it didn't need to be fucking cotton scented? Like, I don't even think we touched on the cotton scented because I didn't read that. I just saw the candle and saw a black woman talking and Mercedes thinking it was a good idea to come in and correct her. Because I am of the persuasion of I don't disrespect women. I try my very best, unless they're disrespectful to me, to not disrespect women or unless they're a piece of shit, like in TG. But I try not to do that, especially black women. Even if they're wrong, I would take them like to the side and talk to them, maybe DM them. Like that's even in the Bible. Like the old pastor me's coming out. Like Jesus even said, if you have an issue with someone, you take them, you handle it with them, not everyone. And that's what I did. I pulled Mercedes aside instead of publicly like calling them out. I did put the emoji on there, which I didn't think they were gonna see. So that's when I messaged them on Discord and was like, this isn't, picking up where we left off. And so they were like, well, yeah, no, you guys make money off of it. I don't see the problem. And then their next argument was about Nestle. And they're like, these same people, being picky and choosy about what they're going to be mad about, their selective outrage, they probably still buy Nestle. And at this point, I'm like fuming, but still talking like this. And I'm like, I'm a single mom, right? At one point, I was sleeping 3 hours a day because I was getting off of work at 6, 7, 8, 9, whenever my replacement would come in. I'd take my kids to school, be in bed by 9 a.m., up by 12 p.m. so I could study from 12 to 4. And then by then, my middle schooler was going to be home by 4. And then it was time to get the youngest one from daycare by 6. And then I'm married to the church, so I'm at church from 6 to 9. And then I go to work from 10 to 6 a.m. and do it again every day. So if you're going to tell me that if something like this was happening and I was still in that situation, that I was being selective in my outrage because I'm not looking at every single consumer or every single product in my pantry to make sure that it's ethically sourced, right? It's really hard to do ethical consumption in this capitalistic like society. So stop that. Like, and then when you're supposed to be an advocate for these people and you're looking at them like you're not even hearing it from our perspective and I'm giving you the perspective. And when I presented that case, he still wasn't hearing it. I just went back and forth for like an hour. I did everything that I could to try to get them to understand, like, you don't have a dog in this fight. This shouldn't be happening. And little did I know, they were on threads, still going back and forth at people, doubling down. And at this point now, every creator that I like follow on Black Threads is tearing them up. Keandra is, Portia Noir, like even Francesca Lay, the leopards eating my face lady is tearing her up, and I'm just like, dang. So now at this point I have to go block Mercedes everywhere because I can't be associated with them anymore, because I tried to tell you, I told you this wasn't going to work. You said last week in our left-wing meeting that you wanted more diversity besides just me. Do you think you're going to get there like this? I presented that. It was ignored. And then the last message I sent was a 5-minute voice memo. And I was just like pleading with them, trying to get them to understand. I was like, listen, I need you to understand the consequences of your actions. I think maybe we should do a live. Let's hop on a live and let's clear this up. Let's get on top of it. Like I'm trying to do everything. And I didn't hear from them after that. Next time that I heard from them was when I was getting a lawsuit threatened from two different numbers, Mercedes' number and somebody else's number. And then this today, will Siobhan take down the pronouns video? This whole thing blew up with them having to defend themselves about being a former member of GAG because the black woman that he pissed off went immediately to research Mercedes and the scandal person. It's just the universe's icing on the cake that he happened to be a former. Nobody knows that, like, I'm on Mercedes' behalf. No, how could he have known that? He just was more reactive, right? He just immediately jumped in and wanted to defend someone without knowing. I know now to kind of test the waters with people because you don't know what people could really be up to. And if anything, Mercedes has reminded me that even though someone can present themselves as an ally, they still have work to do. The fact that this whole it's the universe's karma for not listening to black women. Like, oh yeah, you're gonna ignore us, well boom. And this happens all the time. This happens all the time when people don't listen to me. It always comes back to bite them in ways that they couldn't have imagined. Black girl magic, I don't know, call it what you want. But yeah. So that's the Reader's Digest version of this story. Everything else has been a lot of poor leadership, a lot of not communicating with the rest of the left wing, a lot of having people looking up to them and then not explaining to them what happened. And I'm just disappointed because they still haven't contacted me. I didn't block their phone number. They could have tried to text me and be like, hey, Bonds, I fucked up. Like, I should have listened to you. I want to get in front of this. None of that has happened. Like, they say that they want to be a moderator or somebody like a mediator between the left and the right. And I'm all for that. And I think that's great. But here's the thing, you can't be a leader of a movement if you haven't done the work in yourself. And I'm gonna wrap it up with this. Before I got into ministry, I'm no longer a minister, but before I got into ministry, I was fresh out of like a dark life. Like, I had just got out of an abusive relationship. I was selling drugs. I just had my second kid. I was 20 years old, and my best friend had just committed suicide, and I had seen the fire department wash his brains off his car. So I got back into church. I was scared. I was like, life is crazy. And for the whole time that I was there, like the first year, before I got into ministry and became a youth leader and did anything and told my crazy testimony or anything, I sat with the older women at church and I deprogrammed from the world, if you will, and I unlearned the ways of the world and learned the ways of the church and learned the ways of ministry and learned wisdom from people who had done it before me, before I dare called myself a leader. For a year and then some. And even then, I'm constantly learning. And even now in the fields that I do, that I work in, I'm constantly learning. You can't call yourself a leader if you, one, can't take correction, and two, if you're not constantly learning. You have to be a lifelong learner. If not, you don't get to be a leader. So I think it's for the best that the first video disappeared because it was 25 minutes and I was much more aggressive. This one I'm much more calm in. If you have any questions or if you want to discuss or dive into any topics that were in this condensed video, I'd love to hear it in the comments below. This was not a video to gang up on Mercedes or to be rude to them. I just think that people need context. And the context is that they started shit on Threads, didn't take accountability for it, still aren't taking accountability for it, and are pointing everybody in the direction of something that they can take accountability for. And that's cool. But like, those of us that are on the groundwork doing this shit day and night and like have the stories to tell and lived it, like, we we've all had to go through that growth, and luckily for us it was private. We don't have millions of followers, but this is not how I hope I would handle it if I had this many followers. Stay on top of things, be proactive, like let people know I fucked up and this is what I learned from it, rather than let's just not talk about this because they don't know about it. What's done in the dark always comes out in the light.